Hello, Year 3. Today we're going to start talking about friction. But before we do that, I always like to have a recap of some of the things we have covered so far. So I'd like you, if you can, to pause the video and see if you can think of 2 or 3 facts about magnets. 2 or 3 things you know about magnets, things we have learnt over the previous weeks. See if you can think of 2 or 3 facts about magnets. I'm just going to pause my video for a second. Welcome back, Year 3. So some of the facts you may have come up with. Magnets are made from iron. The ends of a magnet are called the poles. The opposite ends, the different ends, will attract, and the same ends will repel. You may have come up with lots of other facts as well, so well done. Today we're going to talk about friction. Friction is a different force. Friction is a force between 2 surfaces. 2 surfaces will create friction. Now, I've drawn a picture of a car here that is moving, and friction moves in the opposite. Friction works in the opposite direction that the object is moving. And a good way to remember this is that friction will slow something down. So as the car is moving this way, friction is working in the opposite direction, slowing the object down. So if there is high friction, the object will slow down more quickly. If there is very little friction, the object will travel for longer without slowing down. And I've got some examples on the board. I'll just move it down ever so slightly. So an ice skater moving across the ice, there will be very low friction, not very much friction at all. So the ice skater will not slow down as easily. They'll be able to skate along for a long time without slowing down because there's very little friction between those 2 surfaces. The ice skate goes quickly and smoothly along the ice without slowing down because there is very little friction. Whereas my second picture is a toy car in the grass. So a toy car in the grass, there will be quite high friction. The car will slow down quite quickly as it moves along that surface. It's more difficult for the car to move along that surface, so it will slow down more quickly because there is higher friction, there is more friction. So if something moves easily along a surface, there's low friction. If something doesn't move very easily and slows down quite quickly, there's high friction. Important to get that the right way round. Today's activity, you need to explain what friction is, and hopefully you can use the video to help and the information that's on the sheet. And then there are pictures of different activities, different things happening, and you have to decide if the picture is showing lots of friction or very little friction, high friction or low friction. So remember, if there's low friction, the object will move easily and not slow down as quickly. If there is high friction, the object will slow down quite quickly. It's important to get that the right way around. That may not take everyone that long. So today I would really like to see more people completing the experiment today. And I'm just going to clean my board ever so quickly, and then I'll explain what that experiment is, and hopefully I'll see lots of people completing that experiment today. So we're going to test which surface in your house has the least friction. You may remember in our very first lesson, I asked you to see which surface a car travels the furthest on. And lots of people would have been just pushing their cars, which may have given you a little bit of an idea, but wasn't the most accurate or scientific investigation. So today we're going to follow a more accurate method that should give us a clearer answer. I've drawn a diagram of the experiment. We're going to need a ramp here. Now my ramp is on my bench. It's just some blocks that I've laid out, and I've put a book on top. And you can see my ramp here. We'll have a car on the ramp and then a ruler. So all we will do is place the car on the top of the ramp and let go of the car. And then we'll measure from the end of the ramp how far the car has travelled. Now you need to do that on lots of different surfaces in your house. You may be able to do it on grass, on carpet, tiles, wood. Use lots of different surfaces in your house, and then you can try to work out which surface has the least friction. Remember, the least friction would mean the car will travel the furthest. If there's very little friction, very little slowing the car down, the car will travel further. So that is the experiment I'd like people to try to complete. But before you go away and have a go, I want you to think about how you could make that test fair. Pause the video for a minute and think, what could you do to make this test fair? We've spoken a lot about fair testing during Year 3 Science. So during this experiment here, what could you do to make the test fair? Have a go, have a think, and I'll write some answers onto the board. Welcome back, Year 3. I've written a few answers onto the board. I'm sure you came up with some of these ideas. So to make this test fair, we will use the same car each time. We'll use the same ramp each time. I will measure from the same point each time. I will make sure I let go of the car at the same place. I won't let go of the car here sometimes, and then here other times. I'll let go of the car at the same place each time, and I'll also keep the ramp the same height. I won't keep my ramp this height for one surface and then change it to this height for a different surface. We'll keep it fair by keeping the ramp at the same height each time. So it'll be great to see lots of people complete the worksheet, but then also have a go at this experiment to see which surface in your house has the least friction. See which surface in your house the car will travel furthest on, making sure you use and complete a fair investigation. If you can record those results, even better. Thank you for watching Year 3. Mr. Woodhouse or myself will be available on Google Meet if you want to ask any questions or check any of your work. Thank you.